Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Pinky and we're here today with another fragrance from room 1015. I'm having a good time with this one, yeah. So this one I remember from yesterday, which ironically is the name of this one, Yesterday. And I imagine it has to do with the Beatles, because a lot of this is music influence, you know, because the person's a musician, pharmacist. So, a fresh aromatic fragrance drawing inspiration from an image of the Beatles casually gathered in a hotel bathroom, engaged in shaving and enjoying the moment. When I first laid eyes on this photograph, an imaginative journey began to unfold as I thought to encapsulate the scents that might fill that very room. So very interesting. Very interesting. Actually, I kind of like that. Okay, yeah. So, let's look at the notes. So, the notes. The head notes are bergamot, carby. Now, I don't know carby, so I know there's people out there going, what? I know my notes, but I don't know every note, and I'm never going to be that person that pretends. So, there you go. That's the one thing. I don't like to do that. I'm honest. So, sweet orange, basil, thyme, cardamom. Heart notes, lavender, rhubarb, divana. Base note, vetiver, sandalwood, musk, amber woods, tonka bean. Interesting. So there's a lot going on here. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm actually really looking at it this time. So there you go. Wow. Because usually, I don't know, usually you see zoologists having that much. But I'm intrigued. I'm always intrigued. So, intrigued by things I shouldn't be. Maybe I should be. I don't know. So here we go on this beautiful summer rainy day. Let's see. Ooh! Bang up job. I've been saying that a lot lately. I definitely get a smell out of this. Definitely get a strong scent out of that. This one, really. Did that hit you, baby? Okay. Wow. This one does have a lot going on. Yeah. I get the bergamot, because bergamot has that very fresh, kind of citrusy kind of happiness to it. You know, it's bright. It almost smells like shaving cream. That's really strange. It does. It smells like shaving cream, lavender, and bergamot. Yeah, I'm definitely getting those bright notes. Definitely getting the bergamot really hits, but I'm getting that lavender. I'm getting that shaving cream, classic shaving cream smell. So very interesting. This one has a nice amount of spray. You're going to get it right out here. And I have a feeling this one's going to morph a lot. I kind of like the morphing. I mean, sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you want something that just is. You spray it and you're like, it's staying like this, damn it. And you're like, yeah, because you love what you initially smell. That's where sniff comes in. They tend to stay in that pocket a little bit more. But something like this, I'm finding, not all the scents so far with room 1015 are this way, but a lot of the time they morph a little bit, kind of like zoologists, which I kind of like because I like taking the journey. But then, of course, it changes. And so you're like, well, 2 hours later, it's not quite the same scent. But, you know, whatever. But, ooh, yeah, let's try it in the wrist. That is really beautiful. It's very fresh. It's very, when I move around, I get that shaving cream, lavender and bergamot. But on the wrist, it's almost like a bergamot citrus with a little bit of lavender. Wow. I don't know if there was citrus in this, but I'm getting that. Sweet orange, fair enough. Basil, thyme, and cardamom. Lavender, rhubarb, divana. No, so interesting. This one's like, wow. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I could pull out certain notes. I feel like maybe I will do better with notes in an hour because there's so much going on. There is a lot going on here. But let's try it here on the clothing. Yeah, interesting. On the clothing, I'm getting more of that spice. I'm getting a little bit more of that orange, just slight, very slight orange with thyme and cardamom. Those notes are coming through here. And I think through all these different combinations of fragrance, it is giving a hint of that shaving cream. It's so strange because you definitely get that note, but it's obviously a combination of things to create that. So here you get more of those spices, the cardamom, the thyme. Well, yeah, the thyme and basil with orange underneath. But here, it's that bergamot. It's that bergamot, baby. Yeah, it really is that strong bergamot and shaving cream. Wow. This is really kind of cool. What I'm finding with these thus far, and this is my third one that I've tried, is that they're unique. They're really unique. But I don't know if I don't know if I would wear this necessarily just because it doesn't fit my scent profile usually. But what's interesting about these is these are scents I wouldn't normally wear, but they're absolutely intriguing and I love smelling them. And I love smelling this. I do. It's funny though. I'd almost want to smell it on like a male. I mean, anything's feminine, masculine. These are unisex. But like, if I had a partner and he was wearing this, I would not care. I would go out. This smells really good. This smells wonderful. If this was on one of my male friends, I'd be like, ooh, I'd be leaning in and sniffing them, going, oh, they just smell so clean, like fresh out of the shower with maybe some like gel, like something on the body like lotion and then shaving cream, aftershave, like that clean, crisp smell of just clean. That's what this is. If this was on like one of my male friends or a partner, I'd be leaning in real close and they'd be going, oh. At least my friends would. They'd be going, what are you doing? Partner, they'd probably be going, yeah. But that's what I'm getting from this. But as somebody who doesn't normally gravitate towards these type of scents, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I would personally wear it though, but I would love to smell it on somebody else. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of taking me back a little bit because it does kind of remind me of my dad when I was a kid, when he would shave. This kind of takes me back to that a little bit. Because, you watch it when you're a little kid. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's just me, but you're intrigued. It's maybe it was just me. But that's what this reminds me of. It very much reminds me of like my dad shaving. And I'm just like, what are we going to do today? What are we going to have for breakfast? Being annoying. Kids are magical. So there you go. So yeah, what I'm going to do is check in an hour because this one is I really am liking this collection. And I'm just going to flat out say it because this kind of reminds me, it's completely different from Clue Perfumery. That's like a memory-based brand. This is like a memory-based brand, but this one's based off of a different aspect in life. This is like Clue's more like almost like childhood to a degree or younger years, and this one's more, I don't know, it's atmospheric a little bit. So I'm loving this brand. I'm glad I chose it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to check back in an hour and we'll see where this is morphed. Okay, so it has been an hour and we are still sitting with yesterday. Yes. So definitely getting still a very soapy vibe. So what I'm getting is the aftershave isn't as strong anymore. Well, I just moved. Well, no, there's still shaving cream, but what I'm getting is more like a shaving cream, but more of a soapy scent. So it's like straight out of the shower fresh. Maybe you got the towel around your waist. I mean, there you go. If you're a dude or a woman, you can do whatever you want. And you're shaving. That's what I really get from this. It's very much that fresh shower scent, shower fresh scent. Let's shave. So definitely getting that still. But it's changed a little bit. It's not quite as intense. The bergamot has taken a step back. So let's smell it on the wrist. Soapy with cardamom and a little bit of sweetness, which is probably the Davana. adding that sweetness. Could be the tonka. There's just a sweet note to it with that soapiness and cardamom. And there's like almost like a little bit of a bitter note to it. Yeah, and I think it's the basil. So you have this fresh scent, and then it's kind of like this little like where it hits against something that's a little bit more bitter. Now, I love the freshness. This is on my chemistry. Your chemistry will probably pull very differently than mine. I don't like that bitter note, but my body loves those musks and bitter things. It's just, it's my chemistry. I've learned to live with it, but it isn't always exactly what I love. Those aren't the scents, musk and bitter. No, but you know, that's okay. That's okay. So let's try it here on the shirt. Okay, so on the shirt, I definitely still get that aftershave with bergamot. And the spices have calmed down a little bit, so it's more like that lavender and bergamot and that aftershave scent is coming through. So it's not quite as strong as it once was. You know, of course it was a big pocket, now it's more in. But that's okay. I think part of it is because it's such a fresh scent that it never was going to be a powerhouse. You know, I think Holly Rose was pretty, like a little bit bolder of a statement just because the notes were bolder notes. This is not. This is gentler. But it really is quite nice. Still very refreshing. Still, like I said, leans what most people would say masculine, wear what you want. But I just keep getting that visual, you know, of a man coming out of a shower with the towel around his waist, smelling fresh, clean from the soap and shaving. I'm getting that. So what I'll do is I will check back in 4 hours and we'll see where this is at, unless it peters out a little bit sooner than that, but I don't think it's going to. So I'll see you soon. Okay, so we are done. It is 5 hours and I can definitely still smell it. It's light, but it's still here, still in this very nice little bubble here. Not going to be intrusive. So that's a good thing. I mean, well, it depends. Some people like a stronger scent. What I'm finding with these is that nothing, even if the notes are stronger, none of them really are woo out there. You know, it's always contained, which I think is nice. I think it's nice. So this one still has a beautiful amount. When I move around, I can definitely smell soap. Soap and shaving cream. That's what I'm getting from it when I move around still. And I think when you smell it individually here and on the chemistry, there's different notes, but with the movement of both, that's what's creating the scent more. But I think most of that soapy kind of shaving cream goodness is coming from my clothing. But let's try it on the wrist first. I stand corrected. It's definitely on the wrist as well. So it's more lavender at this point. Yeah, it's like cardamom and lavender. Cardamom and lavender is what I'm getting, and a soapy scent. Soapy lavender cardamom. Yeah, so that dull kind of bitter note is now gone. It's very fresh, very soapy, very shaving cream. But let's try it here on the clothing. Yep, on the clothing it's very much like a lavender soap and shaving cream scent. So that's what it initially starts like that, but it's larger, and eventually it just goes to that clean scent at the end, but it's very light and approachable. So if you wanted to go back to its former glory of having a little bit more oomph, then you're going to want to spray it on about the 4 or 5 hour mark to just bring it back to its former glory. But if you don't, this is still a really lovely scent, and you can still very much smell it, and it's very relaxing. It's very nice. I think this one is very homey. I like it. I do like it. I think it's very fresh. It's very clean. It's a really nice scent. It is. But if I were going to rate it, I would give this one a 7.0. And here's why. People are like, you like it. I do. I think it's lovely. I really enjoy it. This isn't a scent that I would wear. So when I give these scores, and I say it almost every time, it's about my thoughts on it for my collection and what I would wear. Of course, your chemistry and your preferences are going to be very different than mine. So you're like, I love soapy stuff, bring it on. This would be a 10 for you. But for me, I don't wear scents like this. And though I really appreciate it, I do. It smells so good. Like I said, if one of my friends was wearing this, or, you know, a partner, I'd be going, oh yeah. I think this smells beautiful on other people, but I don't know if this is something that I would wear personally. I would love to smell it on other people. Just me, I'd be going, because it's not my style. You know what I mean? It's like wearing a color. You can appreciate a color that you like, that you don't like, and other people go, wow, I don't like orange, but it looks really good on you. You know what I mean? But it may not be your favorite color. So there you go. That's kind of how I view this one. I think it's beautiful, but it's not something I would wear. I think it's a beautiful scent though. I think it's really wonderful. It's just clean, soapy, and nice. And I think a lot of people are really gonna like that. I think they're really gonna like this because of it. I mean, it's just so fresh. Who doesn't want a fresh scent like that, you know? So yeah, that is my review on yesterday. And the next one that is in line looks like it is Purple Mantra. Now, I've been guessing a little bit because the person really loves rock music. So I'm wondering if Purple Mantra is going to be, oh my gosh, Jimi Hendrix. I had to think a little bit. Like, oh my gosh, not Prince. The guitar, well, they both played guitar, but go on, music knowledge. I know, so there you go. I listen to a lot of indies, but I know who these people are. So there you go. I know. So I think that's what that is, but don't quote me on that. I'm just kind of having a fun time guessing, you know, why not? So with that, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye. My little kitty is not so far away. I hope I don't get sued for that. And she's like, what? No. Oh, crazy rainy days.